$2,000. Now, you may be looking at yourself saying, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this for a small ice cream shop? $2,000, I've never asked for $2,000. I'm just telling you where you start the pricing. This is really important. See, what happens is I tell people, look, I'll do everything for you, but it takes a lot of time. I'll do it for $2,000. But you know what really moved me? And connect with their dream. This is super important. You know, or it really moved me when you're talking about doing all this different art and how you're literally relocating where you live just to be closer to an art studio. And I know that you want to do your own art studio. And you know what? I'd love to be part of that with you. And I know that probably right now $2,000 isn't in your wheelhouse. So I'm happy to show you how to do it. You know, I'm happy to coach you on it as well and give you some videos. Or you know, honestly, like, I really believe in what you're doing. Well, let me just ask you this. Are you more likely to do this on your own? Do you want me to coach you? Or, I mean, I could probably work something out. Do you want me to, what would you want? I mean, if I could help you any way I can, I mean, the world's your oyster, what do you want? And if they tell you, hey, I want you to do this, but I can't afford this, Ori does some amazing painting, so I may ask Ori, hey, tell you what, instead of this $2,000, could we maybe do a painting together? Could you show me how to paint just a little bit? Some people like to work on trade, right? And I say, look, trade is okay, but money must be exchanged, because unless money is ever exchanged, straight on straight trade doesn't work because it's not analytical, it's not verifiable. Okay, so one of the things we're talking about for the example is with Ori. And so I may work some trade, but he needs to pay some money because people only value when money is exchanged. Don't try working out trade deals in full trade, because I'm telling you, they never go right. And don't say, I'm going to try it. If you try it, you want to verify it for your own, that is absolutely fine, but I'm going to save you a lot of heartache right now. What you do is something like this. Say, hey, Ori, look, I usually charge $2,000 a month. Now that's retail, okay? Or the people in my group, we, if you haven't charged yet, just say we. We typically charge, we can mean lots of different things, right? So just say, well, we typically charge is $2,000 to do what I'm talking to you. Now what I can do is I can save you some money, is I can cut down on some of this, right? And would you mind if maybe, if I'm interested in painting, I may say, Ori, would you mind if we spent 2 or 3 hours together and we traded some of that painting? Like, I want to get to learn how to paint. Plus you're going to spend more time with Ori, he's going to introduce you to his friends, if you're just cool, just hanging around him, right? Just treating him as a good individual. So I may say, you know what, Ori, I'm going to cut down, I'm going to train you on some of the stuff on how to do so you can do it on your own because you have amazing content. But what I'll do is, and I actually say this, and I'll share this in another video, I say, what I'm about to give you, you can't tell anybody else. Like, I'm going to give you a price that, please, I'm going to have you sign a non-disclosure agreement so you don't talk about my pricing. Is that fair? And get a commitment for someone. Have them say, yeah, it's fair. You promise you won't. You can tell people you work with me, but you can't tell anybody the price I'm going to give you. Is that fair? Yes, that's fair. Okay, good. Here's what I would do, is I'd discount that $1,000 for you, okay? I would cut it in half, and basically it takes a lot of effort to do what I'm doing here. And you're going to trade me out a couple of sessions as well. So what I would do, please do not tell anybody this. I say this over and over. Please don't tell anybody this, because people like to be exclusive. I say, look, and you literally write these numbers down. Here's what I'm going to do. Ori, I know you want to get your art studio up and everything else. If you do direct mail, if you do anything, what's going to happen is you're going to do direct mail, you're going to do a commercial, you're going to do a radio ad, and when the money goes out, you're done. I'm going to take $650 a month. I mean, you can already see that I made a huge discount right here, and I've compensated a lot here. So for $650, I'll be able to design out all your Facebook to get you set up there. I'll be able to design out Twitter. I'll be able to design out LinkedIn. I'll set you up on a couple of the local sites if you have a local customer as well. And please just don't tell anybody about it. And I won't even make you do this month to month. So what we'll do is you're going to have a setup fee. Okay, typically my setup fee is typically $1,500, and business is expected. Now, if you want to cut your setup fee in half, that's fine. If you want to combine it into two, sometimes I tell clients, if you do this by the end of the month, you know, like if I wanted to pay my mortgage at the end of the month, I'd say I waive this. If you say that, hey, look, for 90 days, you're going to stick with it, we're going to do $650 a month for 90 days. If at any time you feel that we don't get along, we can quit any time that you want to. But for this to really work, we have to do it for at least 90 days. But again, if it doesn't work out, if our personalities kind of conflict, whatever, it's okay. Because see, I don't want to be tied to somebody for 90 days if it's always going to be my fault and I have to complete it. If they only pay one payment, and I work with Ori, and you know what, he didn't really follow through on some of the stuff he was going to do, and I didn't really like working with his feedback, we don't have to do business again, but I earned $650, and I always get paid up front. I tell all clients I always get paid up front. That is our company policy. I've had 2 people question it, and they're like, okay, I'm going to send you half now, I'm going to send you half later. And I go, according to the contract, I don't start until I'm paid in full. And they're like, well, how can I trust you that we are going to be able to do this? And I typically don't trust people like that. Verifiable. I'm trustworthy because I haven't been proven to be just trustworthy. And I tell them, look, I'm not like anybody else you work with. Either I'm paid up front or we don't work together, and it's fair. And I always tell people this, it's cool. Whatever you want to do, it's cool. And it's not really condescending, but I'm just like, hey, if you don't want to do this, it's okay. And remember, sometimes it's not how low you go on the price, it's when you ask them what's their intention, behavior, result. You ask them about their dream, and you must ask them to make more money. I studied with a professional profiler that taught me language and how people can be very predictable based off their language. So this is all the language skills that I'm giving you, all boiled down, especially like IBR. People will tell you what they value a task, and that'll help you assess the situation if you want to work with the person, right? And it gives you a good starting point that many times is higher than what you would offer. So many people ask me, Kurt, what are the brochures you have for your business? What are the sales letters? What do they look like? I don't have brochures for this. Because what will happen is I may make a deal for Ori for $650 and I started at $2,000. But Ori could have had a sticker shock if I maybe went above $1,000. I don't know until I talk to Ori. So I just write up a simple agreement, a simple non-disclosure agreement and an invoice, and I literally send them in an email, here's what I'll do for you. But I don't have brochures because Ori may pay one price where someone else may pay $2,000. Someone may tell me, when I ask them, how much do you value if I coach your people for the next 2 months? I mean, it's the equivalent of having someone on staff that's going to help do it for you. They may say, man, the last guy quoted me $10,000. Great, I'm not going to charge you $10,000. I'm actually going to save you money. My price to work with your team and everything else, I think it's great. I'll give you a discount. I'll do it for $4,000. And you say you're going to do it for $4,000 because they already priced it so high. And it's not that you're overcharging him because you're charging, like I said, Ori differently. Ori requires a different set of skills that you have. These people want to take your information and put it for their employees and teach their employees literally step by step on how to do this. They're going to value this more, and you know what? They pay a lot more than $4,000 for an employee to figure this out. It's cheap to have a contractor do it, but it always depends on your business. So, I always price out businesses. Do you want to do it on your own? Do you want me to train you, or do you want to work with me? And I sell my blocks of time, either on 4 hours or 6 hours. All my contracts, they're month to month. I always get paid up front. I never start work. I did one time, we always know that story. I did one time where I started work up front, they were going to pay me multiple payments. They only paid 2 payments. I don't do what a lot of other people do. I ask for exactly what I require, not what I want or I need. I ask for exactly what I require up front. And when I tell people this is the way that I do business, no one questions it. Just a couple of people, but they won't. It all becomes to your language, your stature, your relationship and money. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is this. I was at an event for a client who's made over 50 million online. And there's this girl at the event where I met this professional profiler who says, you know, I'm working in this business and I'm only able to earn X amount of dollars a year. Like, I can't make any more. And we asked her, we go, okay, are you charging enough for your clients? She goes, I want everybody to have access to this information. She wanted to help people, which is great. The guy that's talking to her says, do you like Post-it notes on your computer? Like, do you like the Post-it notes? Like, if someone's like, man, you did a great job, do you like getting thank you notes for your students? She's like, I love it. It's amazing. I love it. He goes, allow those thank you notes to be dollar bills and allow people to reward you by financially compensating you. They want to, and you have value. You have amazing value for what you're going to get inside the course. Some of the language skills I've taught you right now has helped take literally people to $50,000 a year, to $100,000 a year, to $1 million a year, to $4 million a year. This stuff is all proven by science. But you take what Kate has proven her business on, you take some of the stuff that I've proven my business on, the language, you have immense amount of value. Now it's going to be about your relationship and how you're going to price. The agreement, the work comes next. People will always value the price. Don't undercut yourself. And remember, allow people to thank you with dollar bills, or hundreds in our case as well too, which is fun. Thanks everybody. I'm going to see you on the next video.